You clicked this video because you are unemployed, out of money, and you feel like time is running out. The reality is that the panic you feel is not a sign of failure, but a signal that your current strategy is broken. Most people in your situation try to solve this by working harder, applying to every job, and ignoring their bills until they cannot. That approach is a trap that drains the last of your mental energy without solving the root cause. I am going to show you a different hierarchy of needs that prioritizes your mind and your legal standing over the immediate pressure to pay bills or get hired. Here is the thing about survival when you have no income. We are taught that money is the most important resource, but when you are in a crisis, your mental bandwidth is the scarcer and more valuable asset. Think of your brain like a battery. When you are starving for cash, every rejection letter, every denied loan application, and every eviction notice drains that battery. If you try to run complex tasks like aggressive job hunting or monetizing open source projects while your battery is at zero, you will crash. You cannot think strategically when you are in survival mode because your brain is focused entirely on immediate threats. Consider the case of a developer in Lebanon who was unemployed and trying to support themselves through GitHub sponsors. This person had the skills and the code, but they were blocked by geographic restrictions and banking sanctions. They could not access the funds because the platform did not support their location. This is a critical example of why aggressive job hunting can be futile without addressing systemic barriers first. They were trying to monetize their work, but the infrastructure to receive payment was missing. Every hour they spent trying to bypass this or finding alternative payment methods was an hour they could not spend fixing their mental state or finding a local solution. Quick resource note: I keep a curated set of Amazon search links in the description for books, gear, and tools relevant to this channel's topics. Some are affiliate links, so I may earn a commission at no extra cost to you. Please consider supporting the channel by using those links if you find something useful. This creates a resource allocation problem. You have limited mental bandwidth, and you are trying to spend it on solving problems that are not yours to solve alone. If you spend your last hours of focus trying to navigate complex banking restrictions or platform exclusions, you deplete the very resource you need to pivot. You end up in a loop of frustration where you are working harder but moving nowhere. The strategic move is to stop trying to force a solution that the system is not ready for you. Now consider the tools that are supposed to help. There is a platform called eWorker that was designed to assist unemployed individuals by combining financial aid with job listings. On paper, this sounds like the perfect lifeline. It promises to bridge the gap between having no money and having a job. However, the reality of this tool reveals a significant gap between philosophy and practice. The application currently has very low adoption, rated with only 2 stars, and requires a complex local setup that most people in crisis do not have the time or technical capacity to manage. This highlights a critical trade-off in the current landscape. The tools designed to fix the problem are effectively non-existent for the most vulnerable people. You cannot rely on a complex piece of software that needs to be installed and configured when you are facing eviction. The system is broken not just for you as an individual, but the infrastructure intended to help you is not ready for your specific situation. This means that prioritizing mental bandwidth is a necessary strategic move, but it risks becoming a luxury if you do not have a way to stabilize your basic needs. So what is the actual next step? It is to treat your survival as a strategic resource allocation problem. You must stop trying to solve everything at once. The first step is to secure your legal protections. This means understanding your rights regarding eviction, utility shutoffs, and debt collection. Knowing your legal standing removes the fear of the unknown and gives you a buffer. It stops the bleeding of your mental bandwidth. Once you know you have time, you can stop panicking. The second step is to accept that you cannot monetize your skills right now if the system blocks you. If you are a developer and the platform does not support your region, you must stop trying to force that connection. It is a waste of your limited mental energy. You must pivot to what is immediately accessible. This might mean looking for local, non-digital work or seeking community resources that do not require complex setups. It means accepting that your current strategy of online monetization is not viable until the barriers are removed. The third step is to rebuild your mental bandwidth through rest and low-stakes activities. This sounds counterintuitive when you are desperate for money, but it is the only way to regain the cognitive function needed to solve the problem. You cannot make good decisions when you are exhausted. You need to create a space where you are not constantly reacting to threats. This space allows you to think clearly about your options. It allows you to see the systemic barriers for what they are rather than seeing them as personal failures. This reframing changes everything. You are not failing because you are not working hard enough. You are failing because you are trying to run a marathon with a broken leg. The strategic move is to set the leg down and let it heal. You prioritize your mind and your legal standing because those are the foundations upon which everything else is built. Without them, no amount of job applications or code commits will matter. The most valuable insight here is that survival is not about immediate action. It is about resource management. You are managing your most limited resource, which is your focus. By shifting your focus from the impossible task of immediate monetization to the achievable task of legal and mental stabilization, you create the conditions for a real solution to emerge. You stop fighting the system and start working within the constraints that actually exist. This is not giving up. It is a calculated strategic pivot that saves your most valuable asset for when you can actually use it. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I am a one-person team working hard to make each video better than the last. Subscribe if you found value. It is the best way to show support. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. See you in the next video.